Skol Vikings Nation, what's good, purple and gold faithful? Buckle up, because today we're diving into the whirlwind of rumors swirling around Aaron Rodgers and whether he's eyeing our Minnesota Vikings, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or, brace yourselves, retirement. The four-time MVP dropped some cryptic bombs on the Pat McAfee show, and we're here to unpack it all. Is Rodgers really done with football, or is there a chance he could still don the purple and gold? Let's break it down in this Vikings news update. Here's the deal. Rodgers, at 41, is at a crossroads, and the NFL world is buzzing. He's been linked to our Vikings, but recent reports suggest Minnesota's all in on J.J. McCarthy. So what's the truth? In this video, we're dissecting every angle, from Rodgers' personal struggles to the Vikings' quarterback plans, with stats and insider scoops to keep you locked in. Stick around, because you won't believe what Rodgers said about his future. Before we dive in, hit that like button if you bleed purple, and let's get this Skol chant going in the comments. What do you think? Should the Vikings even consider Rodgers, or is JJ the future? Drop your thoughts below, and let's get into the first scene of this wild Vikings news saga. The Aaron Rodgers saga has been a roller coaster, Vikings fans. After being released by the New York Jets last month, the future Hall of Famer's name popped up in rumors about joining Minnesota. Reports from Sports Illustrated say Rodgers pitched himself to the Vikings, offering a one-year Super Bowl run while mentoring our young gun, J.J. McCarthy. Imagine that, a legend like Rodgers in purple, guiding our 2024 first-round pick. But hold up, nation. Things aren't that simple. The Vikings, coming off a stellar 14-3 season, are laser-focused on building around McCarthy, who's recovering from a 2024 meniscus injury. According to ESPN, Minnesota's front office shut down Rodgers' pitch, signaling they're not interested unless something drastic changes, like another injury to McCarthy. It's a bold move, but is it the right one for a team so close to a championship? So what's the vibe here? Rodgers wanted to join the Vikings' high-powered offense, with stars like Justin Jefferson and a top-tier defense bolstered by Jonathan Allen. But with Kevin O'Connell doubling down on McCarthy, are we missing a golden opportunity? Let me know in the comments. Would you want Rodgers for a year, or is JJ our guy? Let's keep this Skol energy going. Now, let's talk about what Rodgers actually said, because it's juicy. On the Pat McAfee show, he opened up about his future, and Vikings fans, it's not what you might expect. Rodgers admitted he's 41, in a serious relationship, and dealing with heavy personal issues, including close friends battling tough challenges. He said, "I'm in a different phase of my life," hinting that football might take a back seat. Here's where it gets real. Rodgers made it clear he's not chasing money. He told teams, including the Vikings, he'd play for as little as $10 million, not the $30 or $40 million some expected. That's a massive statement from a guy who's won 4 MVPs and a Super Bowl. But with his focus on off-field priorities, retirement is looming large. What does this mean for us, Vikings Nation? Rodgers' honesty is refreshing, but it sounds like he's leaning away from Minnesota. Should we respect his choice to prioritize life over football, or push for a veteran like him to lead us to the promised land? Drop your take below, and let's see if the next scene changes the game. Let's zoom in on the Vikings stance, because this is where the plot thickens. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported that Minnesota is all but done with Rodgers, choosing to roll with J.J. McCarthy as the starter for 2025. After a season where our defense ranked top 5 in points allowed, and our offense averaged 28.4 points per game, the Vikings are betting on youth over experience. Kevin O'Connell, our mastermind head coach, has been vocal about McCarthy's potential. In an exclusive with Sports Illustrated, O'Connell praised JJ's recovery and leadership, saying he's the future of this franchise. That's a clear message to Rodgers. Thanks, but no thanks. It's a gamble, especially with a roster built to win now, but it shows confidence in our 22-year-old QB. So, Vikings fans, are we cool with this? Trading a proven winner like Rodgers for an untested rookie is bold, but McCarthy's college stats, 3,633 yards and 22 TDs in 2023, suggest he's got the goods. Should we trust O'Connell's vision, or is this a missed chance for a Super Bowl push? Hit the comments and let's dive deeper. Now let's pivot to Rodgers' other option, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unlike the Vikings, Pittsburgh is all in on Rodgers, with coach Mike Tomlin calling their meeting a really good day. The Steelers, who traded for DK Metcalf this offseason, are desperate for a QB to elevate their 9-8 squad. Steelers owner Art Rooney too even said they're getting positive signals from Rodgers. But here's the catch. Rodgers hasn't committed. He's been spotted throwing with Metcalf, and Pittsburgh's optimism is sky high, per NFL Network. Yet, Rodgers' comments about personal priorities make it clear he's not rushing to sign anywhere. That's gotta frustrate Steelers fans. But for us, it's a sign Minnesota dodged a drama-filled bullet. What's your read, Vikings Nation? Is Rodgers stringing teams along? Or is he genuinely torn? And if he picks Pittsburgh, are we better off with McCarthy leading the charge? Let's keep the Skol vibes strong. Share your thoughts, and let's move to the next twist. Let's talk retirement because Rodgers dropped some heavy hints. On the Pat McAfee show, he said, retirement could still be a possibility, citing personal challenges that demand his attention. He emphasized he's open to anything and attached to nothing, which sounds like a man wrestling with his legacy versus his life off the field. This isn't just talk. Rodgers' recent performance adds context. In 2022, he ranked 26th in total QBR, and in 2023, he played just 4 snaps before tearing his Achilles. ESPN notes it's been 3 years since he was an above-average QB, which might explain why teams, including our Vikings, are hesitant. At 41, is he still a game-changer? Vikings fans, let's get real. Do we want a Rodgers who's distracted by personal issues and coming off subpar seasons? Or is McCarthy's upside, backed by a roster that led the NFL in turnover differential last year, our ticket to glory? Drop your hot takes below, and let's see where this saga goes next. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Did Rodgers really pitch to mentor McCarthy? Early reports, like one from Sports Illustrated, claimed Rodgers offered to guide JJ while starting for a year. But Rodgers shut that down on McAfee's show, saying, that's not accurate. He confirmed talks with O'Connell but denied pushing a mentorship role. Vikings news, folks. This is why we dig deep. This clarification matters because it shows Rodgers wasn't begging to join Minnesota. Instead, he's been upfront about his mental space, telling teams he's not holding anyone hostage. That's a class act, but it also means the Vikings' focus on McCarthy is unwavering. Are we making the right call, or should we have chased Rodgers harder? What's the Skol Nation's verdict? Did Rodgers dodge us, or did we dodge him? And with the 2025 NFL Draft a week away, how does this impact our strategy? Keep the comments coming, and let's crank up the intensity for the next scene. Let's talk about the Vikings roster, because this is why Rodgers wanted in. Minnesota's 2025 squad is stacked, with Justin Jefferson leading the league with 1,832 receiving yards last season and a defense that added studs like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. No wonder Rodgers saw a Super Bowl shot here. Our team's a juggernaut. But here's the kicker. J.J. McCarthy's the key to unlocking this potential. His college tape shows poise under pressure, and O'Connell's system is perfect for a young QB. Rodgers might bring experience, but at what cost? Delaying McCarthy's development could hurt us long-term, especially with a roster this loaded. Vikings fans, let's debate. Is a 1-year Rodgers rental worth it, or are we building a dynasty with JJ? And what if McCarthy struggles? Would you want Rodgers waiting in the wings? Hit the comments, and let's keep this Vikings news fire burning. Now, let's zoom out to the NFL landscape. Rodgers' indecision is shaking things up, with the Steelers and even the Giants sniffing around. NFL Network reports the Giants hosted Jameis Winston as they await Rodgers' decision, showing how his delay impacts the QB market. For us, it's a reminder. Minnesota's moving forward, no matter what. This drama also highlights the Vikings' stability. Unlike Pittsburgh, who's banking on a 41-year-old, we've got a plan with McCarthy, backed by a coach who's 22-7 over 2 seasons. That's the kind of leadership that makes Skol Nation proud. But is Rodgers' experience the missing piece for a deep playoff run? What's your call, Vikings faithful? Are we better off without Rodgers' baggage? Or should we have rolled the dice? And how does this affect our draft plans? Drop your thoughts below, and let's power through to the next chapter. Let's get personal for a sec, because Rodgers' story hits home. He talked about friends in his inner circle battling difficult stuff. And that's real-life Vikings fans. At 41, he's weighing a Super Bowl chase against being there for loved ones. It's a human side we don't often see from NFL stars, and it makes you respect his honesty. For the Vikings, this reinforces why we're sticking with McCarthy. Rodgers' heart might not be in football right now, and we need a QB who's all in. JJ's young, hungry, and ready to lead a team that ranked second in offensive DVOA last year. That's the energy we need for a championship push. So, Skull Nation, what's the vibe? Do we salute Rodgers for putting life first? Or are we glad Minnesota's focused on the future? And could a veteran backup like Carson Wentz be a smarter move than Rodgers? Let me know in the comments, and let's wrap this up with a bang. Alright, Vikings Nation, it's time to tie this up. The Aaron Rodgers saga is a wild ride, but Minnesota's made its choice. JJ McCarthy is our guy, and the Vikings are charging toward 2025 with a roster built for greatness. Rodgers might retire, join the Steelers, or shock the world, but our path is clear. Skol all the way. As we head toward the draft, keep your eyes on Vikings news for updates. Will McCarthy shine in OTAs? Could Rodgers circle back if JJ stumbles? Stay tuned because this story's far from over. For now, let's rally behind our young QB and dream of hoisting that Lombardi trophy in purple. Vikings fans, you're the heartbeat of this channel. Smash that like button, drop a skull in the comments, and subscribe for more Vikings news hot off the press. Share this video with your fellow Purple faithful, and let's keep the hype alive. What's your bold prediction for the Vikings in 2025? Let's hear it. Skol Vikings.